Thanks for joining us for episode 14 of the Whale Lounge. With us is our, I'm so excited. I feel like I'm getting away with something because every time we've talked about you being on the show, it's just been like we're so busy.
Yep,
Mike Peace in the house from Mac Technologies.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me, good sir. Always
dude,
a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, so I know you've got a lot of stuff going on, and it's been a minute. And the only time I really get to see you is at our good friends, Full Tilt, friends of the show, and friends in the beer world.
Yep, mutual ground. So
yeah.
Yep.
So as always, we have 5 delicious beers, hard to find.
Yeah.
And we got a small batch liquor of sorts. So this week will be the Peerless Straight Rye Whiskey, number 15 in the world in the year 2017.
Okay.
I'm actually going to start with that. Cheers to you, buddy. I think we should
so-
start off
so we
big
just-
and
yeah,
just
let's go-
welcome
yeah.
to the show, bud.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for joining us. So let's talk about.
Oh shit, we weren't supposed to drink that down because I did.
Oh yeah, oh, shit, no. Let me get there. Speaking of which, like this is a completely organic kind of show. So like whatever comes out of your mind,
Okay.
it goes, dude. Like so, there's no script or anything like that. But like a lot of people don't know what you've been doing for the past couple of years now. Start from the beginning, if you don't mind, and tell me what Map Technologies was or is, how it started. You started in essentially like kind of a parlor atmosphere, just playing like. Like Tekken tournaments, Super Mario World, that kind of thing?
So, first of all, I am old. So, many moons ago. So, probably late 90s, my brother comes home from the Army, and, computers are a thing now. They're a thing. So, he gets this computer, and it's our first computer that we have in the house, and so on and so forth. And we've always been tech guys. We've always, growing up, always had, tech stuff. We had Ataris, we had everything. So we were always into electronics growing up. So we get this computer and we're just doing like different things. So of course my brother's a little older than me and he was working in the Army. So he was able to buy a computer and I'm 5 years younger than him. So my friends, necessarily didn't have a computer in the house. And he did because he just came home. So, we have a computer.
Everybody's got that one friend?
Yes. And this time I was the one friend. So people are kind of like flocking over, because we have a computer and so on and so forth. And we're just doing stuff here and there. So one thing led to another, people, we're not that you're supposed to do this, but we were burning CDs. So we noticed like people would come to us, be like, hey, can you burn a CD? Can you do this? Can you do that? So maybe we were like, man, after a while, we came up with the idea of maybe we should try to like do something with this. Let's go get a table down Patapsco Flea Market. And that's what we did. We got our table down Patapsco Flea Market. And we were doing just basic stuff. Again, this is a very long time ago. We're doing like custom shells for like PlayStation 2s. Like we would turn your PlayStation 2 blue and stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. Just like little stuff like that. And that actually took off pretty good. And after that, we moved from Patapsco Flea Market and we were sharing a storefront on Greenmount Avenue. I forget where because again, this is a long time ago.
Sure.
So the gentleman had a clothing store and he was nice enough to let us use the corner of his shop. And we were just doing the same thing, just the fixing, the selling, and repairing of just computers for the most part. So as time goes on, we make a little bit of money. I have the bright idea of opening up my own shop. So I moved to 5858 Bel Air Road. We were at 5858 Bel Air Road for probably about 10 years. We were there for quite some time. This spot was maybe about 600 or so square feet, but it sustained what we were doing at the time.
Right.
So at this
kind
time,
of studio apartment.
So it was just small, but it kind of fit for what we wanted to do at the time.
What you're doing,
So now we're doing the fixing, the selling, and repairing of most electronics, and now we're selling video games and stuff like that. And we're doing minor repairs on consoles because at this time nobody's really repairing consoles. So people are just kind of coming in, and we're just kind of doing minor stuff. So we're up there for quite some time, and it's time to like move because we've just outgrown this spot. So we've left from 5858 Bel Air Road to 229 Park Avenue. So we moved to 229 Park Avenue. We moved there in 2014, 15. So this place is 3 floors, about 1,200 square feet each floor. So the first floor is So to rewind it back, at the Bel Air Road spot, what I would do is I would keep a gaming console hooked up, and I noticed a lot of kids in the community would come in and they would play the video games, because by now arcades are just a thing of the past. When I was coming up in my early teens, we would go to the arcade to play video games, but now online is a thing, so
nobody leaves.
you don't have to leave the house. You know, so and plus it's new. Like I don't have to leave the house. I could just call you up. Hey, school, let's get on Call of Duty. We're on Call of Duty. We're online. It's a new thing. But I still noticed that kids were coming in and they were picking up the joystick and playing Madden, because I may not have Madden at home. I may have basketball, but I don't have Madden. And they were coming in playing the video games. And I was like, well, maybe if I got a space big enough, I would do this arcade thing, which is kind of evolved now into gaming lounges. Gaming lounge is the equivalent of an arcade. It's just more homey. Now, instead of you standing up, so rewind, I get the Park Avenue spot. So I get the spot, and it's spacious enough for me to kind of implement the gaming lounge portion. So now we're fixing, we're selling, we're repairing electronics, and we're also doing the gaming lounge thing. So I get in it. The first floor is the gaming lounge portion, the electronic spot. The second floor is almost an event space. It's just a big room, and we were just doing different events and stuff up there. And the third floor I subleased. I had a couple photographers up there, and that was pretty much the makeup of the shop.
Sure.
So this place almost kind of evolved on its own. There were things that I didn't know because time had passed so much since, you know, was gaming since I was 15, and now I'm late 30s. It's, you know, stuff has changed. So I get these televisions, I hang them up, and I'm trying to cater in. I'm trying to get these, you know, the casual players are absolutely coming in, but now I want to start catering to do tournaments, because when I was younger, I used to be pretty good in fighting games. Notice I used to use the word pretty good. I used to be pretty good. Because as of playing these guys now, I found out that I am not good at all. I am actually pretty
repetition, I think it is, you know, I mean.
So I'm trying to do these tournaments, and these guys are coming in and playing, but they were like, hey, if you want to get these like higher-end guys, you have to get these like gaming monitors, and these gaming monitors don't have any lag. So exaggerated, when you're playing on a television, there's a bit of lag made in from when you hit the button on the joystick, and it happens on the television. The casual player won't notice it, but if we're playing in a tournament, we don't want anything that's going to like stop me from kicking your ass. You know, I don't want any lag. I need the, you know, so I go out, because I've already had this place made up for these televisions, and it just so happened, luckily, I had a little ledge in front of the television. So I get these gaming monitors. So now, when I do the tournaments, I would put the gaming monitors on the ledge in front of the televisions. But the problem is now that, one, I'm outgrowing the spot because the place is getting pretty filled. And when people were coming in, I would have to do a tournament that day. But when a kid would want to come in and play Fortnite, I didn't have enough space for them. For one, I didn't have enough space for them.
Because they don't want to be part of a tournament.
They just want to play Fortnite. And then I didn't have, you know, even if I did have space for them, I have a gaming monitor in front of the television. So, you know, I kind of outgrew Park Avenue pretty quickly. I was trying to, you know, put stuff in there that would fit, but I didn't have the room for it. So, you know, we started doing so much other stuff. It almost became like a community center, because I'm doing this like gaming stuff, but then we started doing coding classes. We started having,
that's wild.
Yeah, we started doing John, who's sitting off camera, who started coming in and doing stuff like teaching people about stocks and stuff like that, because the people were just coming in, and that's what we were just facilitating the need that we saw.
Just trying to see what's going on inside, and then you sit down for a class.
Yes,
pretty cool,
right. So we were doing PC classes and stuff like that, and then you know, by the time I looked, this place had just became this place of its own, and I'm like, all right, I need to move. Like this is
a bigger operation.
So.
Awesome, dude.
Thank goodness we moved again. As you know, you've been past, and thank you for stopping in. So we just moved to a significantly bigger location. So now we're at 322 West Baltimore Street, and our space is 10,000 square feet altogether. So now I have plenty of room.
Dude, and let's segue into like drinking some of these awesome beers. First one's Other Half Brewing, the Tomato Factory. In all honesty, cheers, by the way. In all honesty, when I got that text from Nick saying, hey, I'm heading over to Peace's new spot, I was like, oh, cool, it's going to be another new shop, maybe a little bit bigger or whatever.
This is good. I like.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I like it.
Super good. Like, we sold out of a good amount of Other Half this weekend here at Max's. But But yeah, I was saying, like, I got that text from Nick. He's like, yeah, I'm stopping by Peace's new spot. Do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, I'll bring some beer. We both walk in around the same time, and this place is sprawling, bud. Like, how high is the ceiling?
Ceilings are 17 feet high. Yeah, 17 feet high.
And how long? Like, I'm walking through, it's like...
It's, it's...
20 feet
it's
wide?
30 feet wide, and I haven't counted how, far back. So 30 feet
buddy,
wide, and
there's a stage way in the back.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of place to play. Like, obviously, this is a couple months ago, and nothing's built out yet. You go downstairs, there's room for, I don't know, a fight club, or you were saying you're going to do probably like some repairs and everything.
Yeah.
The basement's the length of the property all the way through, so it's like a second,
Yes.
A sub basement, or a basement that runs the length of the property, first floor, and then anything on the second, you said?
So yeah, just the main floor and then the second floor and over top of us, it's apartments.
It's apartments on top.
Mm-hmm.
10,000 square feet. So like you're talking a good 10 times more than what it was before.
Yeah. And
dude, it is even like months ago when it was just sticks and dust. It was just
and I'm very thankful for
like
my friends.
crazy.
When we first walked in, a couple of my buddies walked in, and one buddy, JB, I'm telling him how I want everything, and he must have known that I wasn't scaling everything out into proportion. So he was like, well, when I get home, I'm going to scale everything out for you. So he did everything and kind of and he sent it back. He was like, yeah, man, you're using, you're not even, you still have like 2,000 square feet left on the first floor. He's like, come on, man, use the space. Come on, get with it. Use the space.
Yeah, just like, I have a little corner to fire some boxes in.
Yeah.
Like 2,000, that's bigger than my house.
But I think now we absolutely have it. We have it nailed down. We have a good logistics of where we want everything out. So the bathrooms are in, the electricity is in. That's the two biggest things. We have to figure out some stuff with the flooring, but for the most part, it's a functional space for the most part. And we just had our first event there. The Baltimore Record Bazaar came through. Really nice turnout, to my surprise. I was a little skeptical in doing it, but people came in, extremely good feedback. They were extremely happy with the spot. They could kind of walk in and see what I'm doing with it because it's kind of set up. Like I have the televisions on the wall, and people can kind of come in and say, "Okay,
this is how we're utilizing this space here."
Right. Even though it's not fully up, people can gauge it and be like, "Okay, I see what he's doing here. This is going to be this. This is going to be that." So that was kind of cool to get that feedback and see that people are happy with the spot. So yeah.
So speaking of which, one of the really cool events that we were doing at Full Tilt for a while. And obviously, I was saying before, we met through mutual friends at Full Tilt. We were doing like a video game night, and then like kind of record share. At Full Tilt. So like you would set up some monitors, and we would just play Super Smash Brothers, some Tekken, a little bit of GoldenEye, just like old school, new school.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
We got the Switch. You can play whatever you want, and then pick whatever record out, and we'll just play it.
Yep, cool, yeah. You name it. Yeah, how can you go wrong with that? Yeah.
Dude, it was awesome. But so my question is, in between that, like, what brings you into the beer world? How does this all connect?
Well, first of all, I'm a beer guy. I am a beer guy. I'm not too much of a hard alcohol person. I like beers. I like the taste of it. I like it. That's my thing. So me and my good friends, we just, we do beers. And at the time I was living not too far from Full Tilt. It was in what I like to call stumbling distance, which is great. Like I would literally just walk up there. It was just simple for me just to walk up there and me just being that face every day, and
every hardworking man or woman deserves a stumbling space where they can just fuck off and just like go into a corner
and just drink your beer and cool out,
or not talk, or just drink. And
but another thing that prompted me to do everything is on Friday nights was usually allotted for the fighting game guys. So like I said, I used to play fighting games more than anything, and that's what I kind of wanted to get into. So Friday nights are fighting game nights. So the guys would come in, we set the gaming monitors up, we played fighting games, Street Fighter, Tekken, all the stuff that they want to play. And I noticed when the guys come in, they would bring beer. They would bring this beer in, that beer in. So I was like, well, how cool will it be to get a local brewery? And like they're bringing beer in. Like I think this would be a good cross promotion if I could get. And me just reaching out to I reached out to a couple different breweries over the years. A couple I've gotten some good feedback with. A couple of them we were dealing with, and then like stuff had changed. They changed and stuff like that, so they weren't doing. And I actually went back and forth with Full Tilt a little bit, as I do with everybody, because everybody's working and busy. But it just so happened those guys kind of got back to me, and I didn't live that far. So, me coming in and me harassing them via email, we just, the relationship evolved after that. So, and that's how I got hooked up with those guys.
That's awesome, man. I think they're overlapping circles in all honesty. Like, you got beer guys that are drinking some cool stuff. Like, it's a palate thing. Like, it's, you sit down, this is something I enjoy. They're like-minded people. They actually, there's overlapping interests where, like, people are drinking the same beers, playing the same video games. I think the reason why Nick, Dan, and I are so close is because we all enjoy like pro wrestling.
Yes,
it's just that circle, like,
right.
and we're just playing old school shit, But it's been a lot of fun, man, and these turnouts, but pre-pandemic, have been pretty awesome.
They have been, and
people just walk in like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
They sit down, they're
cool.
They're drinking beers, they're asking questions, and in all honesty, like with Humble Beer Society, that's how I wanted to like kind of just encompass everything, like common interests. Like, you got your beer first, you got your pro wrestling, you got your video games, you got like-minded people, and then like, let's see what happens when we sit down and share ideas.
Yep, and that's pretty much it. If you probably like video games, you probably like comic books. If you like comic books, you probably like wrestling. If you like wrestling, but like you said, that common ground, and that's the same basis that I had. And that was the purpose of me reaching out to the people who I do reach out to, because I see that common denominator amongst everybody. So let's collaborate and get some stuff together. Let's bring some.
Let's get some shit
together.
done. For sure.
Yeah.
We're way behind, by the way, by
no problem.
by getting stuff done as far as drinking these beers. I've moved on to the Green Bench Brewing Alice, which is further fermented golden sour. It's a little funky, but I really enjoy it. This is a great summertime beer. I think it's got a little bit of legs to it as far as it being like a live, Yeah, give that a try, man. It's a really sour.
I'm sorry. Which one was that? This.
All right. Yeah, the top one on the right.
All right. So, I'm not the biggest sour person. So, what's your favorite? What's your weapon when it comes to beer? I know you kind of dibble dabble here and there. What's your go-to? Like,
I feel like rewinding back, it's one of those things. It's one of those things that like. Unless you lived in like Europe or like Belgium or somewhere like that, like sour beers in general just didn't really exist, and they were kind of a gateway into for people that didn't like beer. We're gonna make this beer taste like I don't know, man, cherry pie or orange juice or
something that's
or lemon lime,
okay,
something like that, so that we can introduce you into a beer that you may like.
Right.
And then, in all honesty, that's how I started, because I was a big like Pilsner and IPA hophead and everything, and I'm like, and my wife was my girlfriend at the time was just like, she's like, you gotta try this sour. I'm like, I don't know if I want a sour beer, but it little by little I kind of catch on, and I can't, and now we're drinking is a barrel aged sour that smells like Funky Feet, but it actually executes really well. Later on in the tasting, we'll try something a little bit fresher, but and it's one of those things too, is like, working with Jordan at Full Tilt and talking to him, he's like, we're gonna make this base, we're gonna introduce some bacteria and yeast into it, and then throw it in a barrel and forget about it for a few months.
Okay.
And then at the end of the year, we're gonna open it up and see how it tastes. I'm like, I never thought about that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it actually like it gains legs and characteristics and a lot of like profile to it. It's like, shit, I would have never thought about that.
Okay.
Well, let's wipe the palate clean. Charlestowne Fermentory is the next one. Yacht Party.
Okay.
Just a straightforward American light Pilsner lager.
All right, it's Charlestown. Okay, light. That's light.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really like that one because it's just kind of wipes everything of what happened like up to that point. So we were talking off camera about your potential start date, not far away.
Yeah, not far away. Stuff is moving thank goodness, a little bit faster than what I anticipated. Like I said, bathrooms are in, lights are in. That was the main thing because I had to build everything out. So I think those two things are important when you have a business. You know, people need to use the restroom and people need to see. So I'm glad I have those two things in. So 2 nice sized bathrooms, and I'm glad I got to do the event last Sunday. It was kind of like a test run to kind of see because we had a good amount of people. So luckily we have a good amount of space, so we had a good amount of people in there. So it was still enough space for us to still keep underneath the standards, and I could kind of get to see how everything panned out. And everything panned out pretty well. Like I said, the feedback was extremely good, so I'll take it.
So after you open, what can you expect from the person that's walking down the block like, oh shit, what's going on down here?
So I'm assuming that I'm hoping, because we have the big glass windows, you know, when you come past, I would like for you, especially if you don't know, I would like to get the double back like you know,
what?
You're looking at. So you'll be able to walk into MAP Technologies and you'll be literally able to play anything. So if you want to walk in and you want to play Atari 2600, I have an Atari 2600. I'll plug it up.
Play a little Berserk.
Yep,
play a little,
and you'll be able to play it.
Yeah.
So when you're done with that, if you want to walk over from the Atari 2600 and you want to go and do some PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 gaming, I have those in as well. So when I say we have just about every single gaming console, we do.
For any generation. Anybody that's walking past that window, they're like,
we have
new school, old school, in between school, like.
And we have, I have CRTs for the Super Nintendos. I have the, the 1080p TVs for your Xbox 360, and I have the 4K television for your PlayStation 5 and your 4K gaming. Because, everything kind of needs to coincide with what it is. So, yeah, I have literally.
Let's be real. I know what you said, about 40% of what you just said. But yeah, that sounds amazing.
So for the purists, when you come in and you want to play a Super Nintendo, you want to play a Super Nintendo on a CRT. And for those who don't know, CRTs are the old big back, heavy ass TVs from way back in the early 90s. I have those. Like I have.
Well, the tube shits.
Yeah, the tube TVs, yeah. And that's what you want to play it on. And I didn't know that until these guys were coming in. They want to play a PlayStation 2. And they were like, well, we don't want to hook the PlayStation 2 up to the new flat screen. We need CRTs. So I went out, I started off with a 20-inch, and then somebody was throwing away a 27-inch. Now I got like 3.
It's like a record playing on a record player.
Yeah, I got the 32-inch Sony Trinitron with 2 people got it, but I have them. So when you do come in and you want to play that Sega Genesis, you're hooking that Sega Genesis up to that TV, and you're getting that purest form of it. So yeah, you can play any gaming system I have, any game that I have on tap. So there are literally tens of thousands of games that you could play.
Arcade games like pinball
I have
an
arcade. We're literally building out an arcade where you sit at it. Of course, it's not, but you just hit the button and you're gonna have everything.
What can we expect? It's the elephant in the room. What can we expect during a pandemic with things like this? What are you putting into play to ensure that people are going to have a great time? As always, that's the easy part. But
right.
Be safe in the process.
Yep. So at each station, and again, this Sunday was a trial run because I had a few gaming stations set up. At each gaming station, I had wipes. For you to wipe off the controller after each one. I have a thing saying, please wipe off your controller before you pick it up. And again, I have enough space, for people to 6 feet apart. Of course, masks are required. I have masks. I have the gun. So I've taken all the precautions that I think I can take for people to come in. And, I wipe down everything after everybody leaves. That's what my brother and I were constantly doing Sunday when someone, we wipe down. So we're just taking all the precautions that we need to make sure everybody's safe and, have fun for when they do come out. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Moving into what I was saying before, like a more straightforward kettle sour, not barrel aged or anything like that. You can sour a kettle sour literally in 24 hours. So
really?
Off color beer for tacos is a great, I think, just a great beer to have with spicy food or just like a little bit greasier food, maybe a burger or something like that, just to cut through the fat. Salty, citrusy, perfect for tacos, as the name implies, beer for tacos. But also, if you want to put a little squeeze of tequila in there,
can't go wrong with tequila.
Yeah, all right, man, cheers.
Off colors.
One of my favorite breweries out of Chicago.
So for this one, when I initially tasted, I didn't want to like it, but the back end of it, I liked it.
It keeps going. So like the first, you try a lot. You taste a lot of wheat up front, and then there's some citrus, and you get that lime, like kind of like takes the moisture out of your mouth.
Agreed.
And just like boom.
This is probably a sour that I could actually do. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Off taco.
So what are we playing right now?
Off color. I'm sorry.
What are we playing right now? On what?
I don't unfortunately play a lot of, and that's what they tease me about. And the one game I do play, I play. For all you nerds out there, I play World of Warcraft, and I am deplorable at it. So shout out to JB and my guild because they run me
easy
through
target.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta worry about.
The Afro Ninjas. So one time, very good. So that's what makes this game cool. So I play with a bunch of good guys, and they know I suck, but they're like, hey man, we're about to run this raid. Why don't you just run through with us, and you could get some stuff with us. So if you look at my character, he looks awesome because he has.
What about the pillage this town real quick? You want?
Yeah. So if you look at me, my character's like the shit. You like, man, he has all this. And they'll be like, why don't you? I'll be like, man, we're gonna fucking die. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody else help me get this. And
I don't think I'd be the best choice.
Yeah,
for this
John,
situation.
he just teases me. He's just like, you're just such a noob and a noob. You're both. You're just horrible. Like, I don't know what's going on in the game. I was like, is this character new? John's like, yeah, he's been around in the game for the last 15 years. The game is 15 years old, and he's been out since the beginning, and you don't know anything. And I'm just
that's before, and that's just a video game. Before that, World of Warcraft was, board game and card game forever and ever and ever. 30 years, 40 years probably.
I dibble-dabble in Street Fighter, but again,
that's a
when I was younger, I entered in a Street Fighter tournament. I did pretty good. But this is Street Fighter 2, at the time. Street Fighter 2, like Super Nintendo. I kind of stopped playing it maybe Street Fighter 3-ish. I might have dibble-dabbled in 4, but there's a big lapse. So now I'm getting...
There's a turbo.
So now I am doing these events and these tournaments, and I'm sitting down. I was like, watching these guys play, and I'm like, man, I used to play Street Fighter, and, I can kind of like... But I can't hang with them. Like, I can hit you a few times, but these guys are like what they call, so when you go up on a tournament, so you'll play like best 2 out of 3, and when you just completely lose, it's called scraped. You just got scraped. You went up there, you went live on Twitch, and you just got the shit kicked out of you. You got scraped, and that's what I would do.
It's on film.
Yeah, it's on film. So I would get beat up, and the guys would look at me, and they would be like, "Yeah," and the grand scheme of things, like I'm just okay. Like I'm not even a good guy, and I'll just be like, "Yeah, my fighting game days are over. Let me just take my old ass back in the corner and help these customers."
The convenience store across the street that had a Street Fighter 2 arcade box in it, and I would scrape quarters and get in there. And
Same thing.
I was always Ryu or Zangief,
Yeah, I just want to relive those days. The corner store, you going in, and I do. There are times when, of course, owning a small business has ups and downs. I think people sometimes just see business and they see money, but they don't see all the behind the scene things. But there are sometimes there's some things that make it worth it. Like there's a time that I'm sitting in the shop and some of these kids will come in and they'll literally dress like anime characters. So I have this kid that was dressed from head to toe.
Pokemon.
Yeah. So like he's dressed like one of these Naruto characters. He's dressed like in Akatsuki. I mean, he has the band, he has the thing, he's full dress. His like nails are painted black, and he's playing John Madden with the guy that's like regular jeans. And these two guys would never talk to each other at any point in time. They're from 2 different worlds.
I am such a fan of that, man. Like different worlds, just like.
And they are sitting there, and they're just in the moment. They're both playing John Madden, and they are just in the moment. They're just having these 2 guys would literally never talk ever. They're 2 different worlds, but here they are in my shop, just having a good time. And I'm like,
why not have a small batch, cool ass local beer in between that and bring it?
And that's the purpose of that.
I
That is that again, that common denominator. That these guys would if had it not been for that, these guys wouldn't have met each other. They're just in my shop having a good time and. Yeah.
Perennial Brewing, right to it. Number 17, American Imperial Stout.
All right.
There's a mint.
Okay.
That's like a Girl Scout cookie right there.
It is. I taste that peppermint. Yeah. I'm not a big stout person, but good friend Stefan's a big stout guy.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Man.
Awesome,
Stefan's
dude.
a big stout guy.
Talk to me, again, saving the best for last. Talk to me about this collab with Full Tilt.
Okay, so our awesome friends at Full Tilt. I like IPAs, so I came to the guys and I was like, hey, how about we do a collaboration beer? And to my surprise, they quickly said yes. I didn't think they would say yes. I thought they were going to be like, oh, we'll collaborate. Oh, we got to go in the back and talk. But no, they were like, yes, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, shit, I don't know. So I came up with the ideas of, I like IPAs. So how about a hazy IPA? We call it 8-Bit Hazy Days. And this is the beer
Shameless
right
self-plug.
here.
All right,
Yeah,
quick.
shameless
Ready?
self-plug. 8-Bit Hazy Days.
Document
Shout out to
that.
Brian Marvin 3C. He did the label. And
man.
yeah, so
He's killer, man.
on the cover, it's what would be, I guess, 2 Nintendo Power Gloves holding beers, and yeah, just kind of an ode to 8-bit gaming. If you've been around for a while, you know, the Marios and stuff like that.
That's the purest at heart right there.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
if you were around for that, you were.
What was that Fred Savage movie, Wizard?
Yeah, the Wizard.
Yeah.
So yeah, just homage to that. It's just cool just to see, you know, shop's name on something.
Remember the Power Mat where you played track
I
and
have
field?
one. I have all that at the shop. I have the man. Listen. I have that.
Like,
I have that. I have a DDR mat. I tried to play Dance Dance not too long ago. Almost died.
Because we're old, right?
Like, gee, man, what the? Yeah.
My nose is bleeding.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Many people the show may not know, but on the side, I help Full Tilt where I can to can. I can confidently tell you I've touched every can there is of 8-Bit Hazy Days.
Yes, we saw you up there.
Had
Thank
a couple
you for that.
low fills in the process. Dude, I am really excited for you for this beer. It's going to do super well.
It did. Thanks, Nick and them gave me a few to kind of give out to the DJ. You know, he was like, you know, I was like, yeah, these are free, and he drunk one, and I remember. Because on the stage, he's up on the stage, and he kind of has a bead of sweat, and he takes his mask down. He's like, man, what the hell is in this thing? This thing is great. And he just,
yeah.
And he was like, man, this thing is great. And he's just up there playing his music, and I was like, okay, this is cool. So, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Amazing, man. So we've tried all these great beers.
Yeah.
If you have any interest in re-upping on any of these beers or trying some new ones, shop.maxis.com. If you have any questions, please email me, humblebeersociety@gmail.com. Let's finish on a high note. Let's try finish off this up. Well,
yeah,
we have more to do on this Peerless, but be safe, be kind, and as always, drink dope beer and say thank you.
Yeah.